guys, it's Monet with Tech Life, and today I want to talk about teaching in today's classroom. I feel like this is a very important conversation that has taken a long time to really come to the surface, but I see so many teachers that are struggling in today's classroom. They're struggling to find their rhythm, to find their groove, to find their time. What do you mean by that? I see a lot of teachers running around with their heads cut off to meet demands that are so far left that you have teachers that are quitting. You have teachers that are mentally quitting but still present in the building. You have teachers that are overgiving, so much so that it's making them physically ill, so much so that they're getting divorces, so much so that their own families aren't receiving what they should be receiving because mom has to buy this, mom has to give this. Oh, I thought I was going to be able to come home today, but we have a meeting, we have an event. And I'm not just talking about me. I want to share what I see, not just in this year, but over my 5 years as a teacher. I've seen oversized classrooms where literally a handful of students were picked as the focus. Let's get these students over the bump. Oh, they're gifted. They're going to carry us and they're going to help us to raise our CCRPI, or they're going to help us meet AYP. The letters and abbreviations, they change every year. The standards and expectations change every single year. Veteran teachers feel vulnerable because they cannot keep up with Common Core. New teachers feel limited and undeveloped because they don't know what to actually do. Is it because our programs that we're graduating from aren't real enough? Are they not preparing us and giving us the skills we need for classroom management? Are they not helping us to interpret data that we're collecting every single month? In today's classroom, teachers are literally teaching and implementing 50 different programs. Hey, for writing, I want you to do this program. For reading, I want you to do this program. For grammar, I want you to do this program. For science, because we have to do STEM, let's do this. Oh, we need to put in a project-based learning experiment. Let's do that. But where is the focus of the student? Oh, we focus on the student. We have PBIS in place. That's great. But do you see that student? I remember last year, last year was the first year where I attended so many staff meetings that were centered around data that I literally began to see my students as data. What did that do to me, you may ask? I no longer felt excited about work because data showed me that I had the bottom of the barrel. Data showed me there was no way your children were going to soar because you had the bottom of the barrel. That was really sad. And it was overwhelming because inside of me, I wanted to prove everyone wrong. I wanted my students to be victorious. I wanted them to know that somebody was in their corner, somebody believed in them, and you could do this. Everybody's telling you that you can't, but you can. Everybody's making excuses for you, but you don't need those excuses. So what? You're Title I. So what? You just arrived in the country last year. We can do something now. This is what I would say to my students. I remember visitors coming into my classrooms over the years, never knowing my students' names, never knowing their stories, but whispering to me, is that so-and-so with the 212? Is that so-and-so that's reading on a level J? Is that so-and-so that scored in beginning learner on the milestone? Knowing my students based on their data. It's really sad and it's uncomfortable. But what can I do? That's the question. What can I do? Do I go into the staff room and complain and rant and make excuses? Not saying everybody does that, but I've seen a few. Do I continue to vent to family? Do I continue to take my migraine medication because my stress level is just so high that I literally get sick? I'm so sick that I have to take medication to do my job. And that's sad. I was at this place last year. I remember filming a video where I announced that I wasn't going to go back into the classroom because I felt like it was a paper game. And I'm not surprised that even with another year, with a new school, it's still a paper game. I want this to be said and understood. I love my school. I love the community. I love the climate. I love the diversity. However, even with those positives, it is still a school that is focused on data, data, data. So much data that instruction is difficult. 1 week of instruction, 2 weeks of assessment. Using that assessment data to then drive the new data. We don't want you to teach it this way. We want you to teach it that way. I went to school for 4+ years. I've gone to courses after courses outside of university programs. I've done PD. I've paid my own money to go to different conferences around the state, around the country, to better myself, to be equipped for my students, to go into a classroom where people tell me when, where, and how to teach. But at the end of the day, I feel like on every level of education, we have our weights. Teachers have their weights. Principals have their weights. I know in the state of Georgia, some principals were even demoted. Your school test scores are so bad that we're going to demote you. What does that really say? Teachers' test scores are so bad, we're going to fire you. Not realizing that literally the fate of these professional individuals is on the backs of 9-year-olds, 12-year-olds, high schoolers. Our livelihood is on the back of children. That is today's classroom. And it's not right. I want to say today that it's not right. And if you believe that it's not right, voice it. Your voice means so much more than your silence. And trust and believe that your silence is speaking for you too. I'm not saying we need to protest. I'm not saying we need to boycott going to work, because at the end of the day, our students need us there. We're the only ones that give them high fives, encouragement, hug. We give them a light. But we do need to start speaking up, because if we don't speak up, I am really afraid that before we know it, things are going to be much worse in education, and we cannot afford that. If you're speaking up for your pay, if you're speaking up for the things that are going on in your community due to government, you should also be speaking up and sharing your truth, because parents don't know what's going on in the schools. Students are too young to really understand what's going on in the schools, but they're tired. I see my students' face when I announce that we're testing, and they look so... Some of them look scared, some of them look frustrated, some of them look overwhelmed, but they're tired of being tested all the times like lab guinea pigs. They know, but at the end of the day, is it fair? Is it right to put that type of weight? Funding is on the back of children. Programs is on the back of children. Employment is on the back of children. That's today's classroom, guys. I would like to challenge people that have YouTube channels. Talk about it. I don't have 10 questions specifically outlining how to do what I just did. But open up your heart and your mouth and encourage people around you to start these conversations with people that can make changes. And let's see if those changes will come into place. They may not happen today, may not happen this year, but say something. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Take on.